Hi everyone, welcome to the next part in this video from Worlds of Wonder by Johanna Basford using Castle Arts Gold pencils. Now I am thinking about the buildings today. I've got the cobalt blue deep, which is what I decided to use for them, and I'm not really sure what I'm going to do, so I thought I would just start by putting down some colour on these buildings and then just sort of see where it took us really, because some of them have got, like, you know, these steps and things, and I'm wondering, what do I do with those? Do I put some shadow in? Do I just ignore them, keep it plain? I haven't decided yet, so I'm just going to colour these in and have a chat. Now firstly I wanted to talk about something I mentioned. I mentioned that as an affiliate of Castle, if you buy items using my affiliate code from their website, there is the opportunity to get 20% discount. I said I wasn't sure whether that was just first time buyers or everyone or whatever. I had an email yesterday saying that they're not going to offer that anymore. I don't know actually exactly when it stops. I emailed them to ask and they haven't answered me, because it's still showing in the affiliate scheme as being a benefit. And when I tried to make a purchase, it showed had the discount in my own basket. So I'm not entirely sure. But it's something to watch out for, because I might have put somewhere in one of my video descriptions that there's a discount and it just might not be available. I'm going to, as soon as I find out that it has been removed or have a date or whatever, I will try and change all my descriptions to make sure that it doesn't say that, because obviously I don't want to lie to you. But there's a chance that I'll miss one, so I wanted to sort of say it on a video. Obviously not everyone's going to be watching this particular video, but because I had mentioned, I'm sure in previous one in this series, that that was the case, then it doesn't seem like it is. I think their affiliate scheme is quite new, and I think they probably miscalculated how much money they would lose from offering 20% off for people. I mean, as an affiliate, I get 5% of sale price, and then if they're offering customers 20%, that's an awful lot of money. That they've got to. That means they're only get, you know, a quarter of their price has already been sort of spent, as it were. So it all depends on their profit margins, of course. I mean, I'm always quite shocked actually at how high profit margins can be on products, but you know, they've obviously got to make enough money to manufacture the items and pay their staff and everything else. So we'll see what happens with that. I mean, I did get a response overnight when I emailed and asked, but they said, oh, you need to contact someone else, but they failed to give me this person's email address, so it made it a little bit tricky for me. So I replied and said, can you give me their contact details, and I'm waiting, but it all takes time. I'm going to be patient and wait, and you know, I will probably post an announcement on my Facebook when I find out for sure, and that will be before this video goes out, I would imagine. But we'll see. I'm just checking my battery level. It all looks fine at the moment. It always seems to take me by surprise, but I don't always remember to check the battery level. I have been trying to, I've been considering, I'm not sure if that's going to work. You can get a sort of cage to hold the camera in, so it makes it a little bit easier to remove the batteries and the SD card. I think it'll work, because I'm thinking it's a bit tricky at the moment, because I have to take it off the tripod and open up the battery compartment and switch it over, and it means that when I put it back, it's it might not be in exactly the same angle or position and things like that, but I don't think there's anything I can do to avoid that. So unless I can leave it on the tripod completely and just remove the card and the battery, there's this sort of No, I won't be able to. The cage setup, you see, I'm just looking at the way the camera's held on the tripod and thinking about it all. Might not help me. I'm just trying to think really. I was discussing it with father-in-law last night because he phoned up and said how things going. I was saying, oh, my battery went flat and blah. And he said, you know, you should really just get a new camera. And I was like, yeah. But you know, it's hard to justify it when I've got something that works, and it's a lot of money. So it's very tricky. And I know also that I could send it away and get it fixed, and it would probably cost a lot less than replacing the whole thing. But it's then I've got to be without one for a while. My sister sort of said, is there not somewhere you can hire one from while you're waiting? But I'm not aware of that being an option, you know. So it's yeah, anyway, I'm hoping I'll just get used to it and it'll be fine, and I'm just happy really that I can record, which is nice. It was interesting, I was using my Castle Art Soft Touch yesterday, having recorded this earlier part of this video, and I really noticed a difference between the two pencils. These are much more oh excuse me, I don't know what word to use. They're sort of softer. The Soft Touch seemed to be drier, if that makes sense. I was finding it harder to get such a intense colour with them as well. So that was all very interesting. But still, I watched Johanna Basford's flip through video last night. I caught her live when she did her Facebook, and then live again when she did her Instagram, and then I rewatched both this morning. How many of you did that? I'm very excited by the new book. I was a little concerned that it might be a bit like Rooms of Wonder, which isn't quite my cup of tea, although I did complete my copy. But no, it's much more like Worlds of Wonder, which is one of my favourites. So I'm excited. And yes, there are castles and buildings, but there are animals and you know, obviously leaves and flowers as well. So I was yeah. And someone said to me actually, they were wondering which page I might colour first, or do a colour along first, and it was a great question because I saw a few. But in fact I picked one, and then I thought maybe I'll change my mind, so we'll see. But it does look very, very nice, and I love the fact that on the imprint page, as she called it, I would call it the copyright page, she's got images which she said represent her and her two daughters, the girl gang. I love the girl gang. It's a great little phrase, isn't it? I think it's so positive. You know, obviously, you know, it's just the three of them, and sometimes people could let that get them down a little bit, but you know, but she's always puts a positive spin on it all, which is lovely. So that's all good. And I don't know how keen. I sort of thought it would be really nice to just, you know, have just all girls in a house, but I'm not sure I agree. I mean, her kids they're under 10, she said, both of them at the moment. Imagine when they're teenagers. Ooh. Yeah. Maybe not. When I see my nieces and speak to friends who've got daughters, I actually am quite grateful that I've got boys. Now, this is our initial layer. It's not particularly neat and tidy, but I'm having a think now about what I want to do. Now, some of these buildings, or most of the buildings, look rounded. They've got roofs that look like domes. So I think we need to emphasize that in the colouring a little bit. So now I'm going to come in closer and I'm going to work on each building individually and try and give it a little bit of shape. So let's come in, that's a bit close. I think we'll be okay. I'm going to start with this one. And what I'm going to do is colour another layer of colour on the edge here. And then try and do a little bit less towards the centre. Do the same on this edge. And hopefully it will help to sort of just neatening up a few bits, give the impression that maybe it's more rounded and not so square. I think it does a tad. You might have to squint and use your imagination, but that's what I'm going to do on all of them. So I'm not using a different colour, we're still using the same blue. That bit there should really be brown, but I'm just going to pretend I didn't notice. So just going with it really. I'm going to just sharpen this. Oh, where's my sharp? Oh, there it is. Sharpness decided to walk away. You know how they do. Naughty little things. Yeah, thinking about losing things, it was really interesting. I was thinking about losing stuff the other day, how, as my husband's got ADHD, he's prone to losing things. But even before he was diagnosed, he knew this was a thing, that he lost things, and he found it very frustrating and irritating, as you can imagine. And so he already has sort of coping mechanisms, I guess they call them, in place. So he always now has a container in the bedroom, so when he empties his pockets, he puts everything in it, for example, and it's done, you know, so they don't get lost. And then, there we go. He had to, I was trying to encourage him to think of a new technique this morning actually, because it's hard to remember if he's taken his pill. He has to take a pill each morning. So what he has done, now I don't think, just gonna, that one, I think that one looks square, and that bit, but this is domed, so maybe this one's round and this one's square. I'm going to try, see if I can pull it off. So what he's decided is he's found a little tray thing, and he puts the pill bottle in it, and then once he's taken it, he takes it out, so that this looks like it could be square, but I'm going to have a go at making it round, because I think it'll add a little bit of interest to this one. So yeah, so it's just, you know, he's finding sort of different techniques. I think the hardest thing for me was coming to terms with the fact that I've got a husband who's got this condition, you know, and I knew that he was struggling with various things, but I just thought it was sort of stress getting him down, and that when it would get better. But now I realise that although coping mechanisms can help, he's always going to have it. So that's sort of, you know, it's taking me time to come to terms with it really, and but I'll get there. And I know it sounds really selfish. It's like, well, it should be him, but I'm the one that's been doing all the looking after, all the supporting, all that sort of thing. And I was sort of thinking, oh, once the kids have left home, I'll have a bit of a break, but actually it will still be there, and it's quite tricky. But you know, I have things to distract me, and we talk about it and things. You know, it's not like I'm you know, feel like I'm alone. I'm not. Oh, it's so funny. I've got a funny story for you. Much better than me whispering on about that. So last night, husband went shopping on his way home from work. Nothing spectacular about that. I wanted to stay home. He and the boys needed some milk, so he went shopping. Fair enough. So he actually says to me, I've forgotten the shopping bags. He says, look, I'm going to pop home and then go out. So I was like, okay. So he did that and he went out. And then when he came in, he shouted upstairs. He said, I need some help. I was like, oh, okay, with unpacking the shopping. Okay, he usually does, you know. So I went down, and he was standing at the door with a bunch of flowers behind his back. I could see that he had this bunch of flowers behind his back. Now, as pretty as flowers can be, and as grateful as I am when people get them for me, I always say to him, don't buy me flowers. I feel like they are, just make sure we can see that big tall tower. They are something which is an unnecessary expense when we're trying to save money, and a plant is much better, I think, better value for money because it lasts much longer. So since we've been living together, he's never bought me flowers. So he had this bunch of flowers, and I was immediately like, this is a bit odd. Why has he bought me flowers? I was like, there's something suspicious. It's not real. Yeah, it's not. So so I go down, and he presents these flowers, and I immediately noticed that there's a reduced sticker on them, and it says £2.35. I think, my goodness, that's not very much, is it? That's like 2 bottles of milk or whatever. It's not very much money. So anyway, I was like, oh, thank you, and he gave me a kiss, and then he said, yeah, they were free. he said yeah, that as I was leaving the shop, they were just, because it was in the evening, they were trying to get rid of them, so they offered them to me for free. I was like, okay. Now I'm going to work on these little flowers at the bottom here using the same. We're going to start with the cobalt blue deep and just colour them quite with this sort of medium pressure. We're going to add other layers colour. So it's quite funny. And then as we were unpacking the shopping together, I said to him, you only did that on the doorstep because you wanted all the neighbours to see you and think that you were such a generous husband giving me flowers. He laughed. He said, actually no, I just thought it was really funny. Oh dear. 24 years nearly of marriage. We know each other pretty well. Okay, I'm going to grab the darker blue that we were using before. I think, oh, I've got it here. Was it the dark indigo? Light indigo. I'm just trying to find it. Sorry for all that. Indigo light. We'll get there. Right. So what I'm going to do with these flowers is, with the little bit at the top, I'm going to go around the edge with this. Try and make it a bit darker. This isn't sharp enough. Ooh, it's sharper. There we go. I'll show you on this one. So I'm trying to go around the edge with a darker bit there and a bit less towards the middle. That's what I was trying to do. And then with each petal, I'm going to choose a side to make darker, choosing this side, and then just fade it like that. So go darker along here and fade it towards that one. This is a sort of new technique that I've been doing for flowers. And I think it's quite effective. I'm really enjoying it anyway. There we go. Now I'm aware that I haven't done the doors on the top picture, all the flower pots. And what I've decided to do for the doors is this colour. So we'll do them in a minute if I remember. Slap my wrist if I forget. I won't feel it. And so I'm going to do the flower pots up there, and flowers. I've done that wrong again. I feel I want to do the same colour as these leaves. It's a little bit tricky though, because the leaves, I sort of want them to be green, but does green match, would green flower pots match blue houses? Or shall I just do the flower pots in this blue? I was thinking maybe the blue is the way to go. There we go. So there are the flowers that's come up. I'm going to do the doors while I just ponder the flower pots. Where are the doors? There they are. I think I just don't want to introduce another colour into this. I think it's working well with I want the gold to be the colour that stands out, which it is. so we're just going to keep with it. Yeah, I think what I will do is, I mean, we could do some flowers in purple, like the sky. That's another option. And but we've got a sort of background down here as well to think about. Yeah, I'm going to do the pots in this blue. I'll show you how I want to do them. I want to do them a little bit darker on the edge and then fade to the middle. I'm not going to leave any white, but just a bit lighter. I think that shows up a little bit so you can see. And same here. Now I've got to choose the green colour. We need something reasonably dark that's going to show up, particularly as I've got so much blue on the plant bits. I'm just grabbing my swatch chart so I can have a look. So we start, we've got a few sort of minty turquoisey greens, but there's a bit blue, these are a bit pale, then these are all a bit olivey, until we get to the juniper is rather nice, but then these are really bluey greens. We've got the veridian, terra verde deep, that one's too grey I think, and that's probably it. So I'm thinking I'm going to go with the veridian I really like, so I'm going to go with that. Why not? You could use the phthalo green if you prefer it. I've got to find it now. Oh, here we're getting there. Is that it? No, there it is. That must be it. Yeah, veridian. So I'm firstly, oh, what a wonky book. Sorry. I'm firstly going to do all these little plants. I need to sharpen again. There we go. So do these. I'm just going to block them in because they're not very big. I need them to, I think if I try to fade them, they might just disappear. I like this colour. There we go. How long has this video been? 22. Okay. Oh, we've got one over there out of shot. Oh, right down here. So that's the top part pretty much done. Now the blue that I've done on the buildings isn't particularly neat. So, you know, there's a possibility there I could redo that, but I'm not going to. I'm going to move on because I'm impatient. Now I'm going to use this veridian for these ones that hang down. Okay, so I'm going to try and fade these a little bit. And while I'm doing this, I'm having a think. Do I do the background of this bit down here with the same colours as I did the background of the top half? Or do I do it a bit differently? I could do something completely different, but we've repeated the colours all the way down, so it feels like I should do it the same. But the leaves, I could do the leaves in those colours instead. I could leave this bottom bit blank. I don't have to do a background down here. I feel like I have to though in some ways. I could do a plainer background down here. I could make this underground, make it brown or like dirt. I don't think I'd do that. I could do it green. I had thought how nice a sort of bokeh green would look, but I can't do that. I have tried before and I've had mixed success. So that's not really what I want to do. We could have a solid background behind this bit, so pick out maybe the yellow that we've used in the windows. That is one, that's a more possible option in my head, that we do that we do the purples in the leaves and then the yellow in the background. I think that could work. And it will be easier than doing another background which changes colour, because that's quite hard work when you've got lots of obstacles in the way like we have down here. And also it'll be a bit different. That's a possibility. So far that's the idea I like the best, but we'll carry on with these. I think, yeah, those are, oh, that's my elbow. Carry on with these. I was chatting to my boys about the Olympics opening ceremony, which is tomorrow, so I'm recording this on Thursday the 25th of July. It's not going out till next week, I think, about a week ahead maybe, so I want to watch that. I think it'll be fun. It's interesting because I remember nothing about the last Olympics, but I very much remember the London one. I don't know whether we just were more vested in it because it was our home games, but I remember the big chimneys coming up out of the ground and all the grass and loads of people and the sort of nurses representing our National Health Service, and sort of it was all based around Brunel. It was amazing. But this Paris one is going to be on boats on the water, so I think it's going to be completely different, and for that I think that'll be very interesting. Okay, whoops. I'm going to come out a little bit now and just have a little look at our leaves, not leaves, there we go. Now the colours that we used for the top, let me have a look. We used Purple Lake Deep, Mulberry, Lavender and Mauve Deep. Let's grab them and have a little look. Purple Lake Deep, Mulberry, is it Mauve Deep? Yes, Mauve Deep, and oh yeah, here they are. It's got these four, and we have got, so I've got now 4 pencils in my hand, and we've got these leaves and these little ones. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these. I'm going to start with the mulberry, and I'm going to do these ones that are inside, okay? And that might be all we do today because of time. I'm trying to keep the videos all about the same size. So I've lost this slither of battery. It's only a quarter gone, but sometimes I think it's fine and then suddenly it goes. So I don't know whether the thing that tells you how much battery is left works properly or not. I don't know. So yes, these are the mulberry, by the way, which is the darkest colour we use down here. This is quite unusual to do leaves in this sort of colour. If you feel really uncomfortable with colouring purple, that is completely understandable, and you can absolutely grab some greens instead if that's what you feel better with. You know, don't colour and copy what I'm doing just because I'm doing it and you want to make it the same. It's not, if it makes you feel uncomfortable or you don't like it, do it your own way. It should be about having fun, not about just doing what you're told. But I'm anxious to do a bit more because I want to know what it looks like. I can't imagine. I'm not good at like imagining things. I struggle. But anyway, I try. But I can't. I can imagine feelings, smells, absolutely can. And smell is bringing back memories and hallucinating smells. Yep, I can do that. But vision, no, I can't do that. Fascinating. I was actually reading quite a bit of information yesterday about different things in the body, and I was looking at, because my sister was saying about needing a hearing test, but the doc wouldn't do one because she refused to have her ear syringed because it's dangerous apparently. but and her local NHS don't do the micro vacuum wax removal thing. And she said that, and we're talking about the link between deafness and Alzheimer's, which I find quite fascinating, because I'm not sure, as a psychologist, having done experiments and looked into research, whether it's cause and effect. Is it that the Alzheimer's causes the deafness, or is it that the deafness causes the Alzheimer's, or is it just a coincidence? Now, I did some research online. Obviously, it's not the best place to do research always, but I looked at some trusted sources. One was a dementia charity, which is a very, well-known, respected one, and one was a deaf charity. And the Alzheimer's one said basically, it seems like when you get Alzheimer's, it can interfere with the way you process sounds, and so and that can be one of the first signs that you go deaf. But later on in the article, it then went on to say, so it's important to get a hearing aid to prevent it. And I was like, that doesn't make logical sense to me. And then on the website for the deaf charity, it said, here is the research which shows that if you're deaf, you have a higher chance of getting Alzheimer's. And actually, there's been proof that having a hearing aid does reduce your chances of getting it. And here is the data. And I was like, okay, that's what I wanted to understand. It's no good saying this happens at the same time as this, because you can't tell which causes the other. But if you're preventing deafness, I mean, if you know what I mean by using a hearing aid, obviously not everybody can, but if you can, then it does seem to reduce the chances of getting it. Right, that is me for today. I'm going to pull the page into shot so you can see it all together and how it's working. I'm quite excited about what I've chosen to do and how I've chosen to colour this. So I can't wait to see what it's going to look like. So I'm going to record the next video right away just so I can see it. But you'll have to wait till tomorrow. But thank you for watching. I hope that you have a really lovely day. Happy colouring.